This is my personal favorite archetype, but it's also my favorite when it's matched with a couple of other archetypes, the warrior magician and the king magician. We'll learn a little bit more about these hybrids in our conclusion. The magician manipulates. Manipulare, that means to use your hands, like an artist manipulates clay. The thing to do it, am I going to do this manipulation in a dark way, or am I going to do this manipulation in a way that's in the light, where it's vulnerable and transparent, where I have my lover and I have my warrior, my golden warrior that's serving and protecting, along with an open, vulnerable, big heart. That's the golden magician. We'll get back to that in a moment. There are other sides of this magician. Again, if I've been hurt, if there's been an injustice done to me directly, then I'm going to hide out. I'm going to be sneaky. I'm going to be in the shadows. I'm going to be slippery. I'm going to lie to protect myself. I'm going to hide out. So that's what the dark magician does. On the overcompensating shadow magician will manipulate people for his own need. What was one of the greatest magicians that we saw in the last century? It was Hitler. He manipulated a whole country out of a wound, out of a hurt heart. So on the other side of that dark magician is the innocent one, which seems to be a little odd, but at further scrutiny, the innocence or the pretend innocence of the magician says, I didn't know, or the dog ate my homework, or there's a big monster that came in and broke the glass. It's pretending that I didn't have a role in something when I did. It's the one that diverts attention on himself. He creates smoke and mirrors, and he gets good at that. Oh, I didn't do anything. I'm innocent. I wasn't even here. These two sides of the dark side of the magician are, again, to be sleuthed. What's an interesting addition in this day and time is that with AI, hyperautomation increases, we do have a greater magicianry, like sorcery, at our fingertips. If anybody were to see you from 100 years ago with your cell phone, you would be a magician. Depending on how you use that cell phone, determine if you're a dark magician or a light magician, if it's for your own selfish needs or for the highest good of other people. It's an interesting time for humanity to have so much power, so much technology at our fingertips. Are we using it for self-indulgent purposes? Are you and I using this for the highest good of everyone? Well, let's just hope at the end of the day that we're falling on the benevolent side of serving people in their growth. What is it and how is it that a dark magician has arisen inside me and you? It's immaturity. It's boy psychology. Again, a hurt boy that is somehow a shadow lover or a shadow warrior. He is hiding out because of similar reasons, and he devolves into this darkness, that the only way that he can get his needs met is through some kind of clandestine activity. The dark magician usually did not get taught about impact of others. Maybe there's a narcissistic parent. There's no understanding of empathy and impact, negative impact on another person. He feels like he's free to manipulate and cover his ass, cover his tracks, cover his mistakes, driven by fear. It's understandable. He creates chaos, just like in Batman, the Joker, a master and a saboteur, masochist at worst, that excels in sarcasm and controlling others. He does not show up, and he stays mysterious, and somehow that's good. The mysterious man. Well, maybe, but usually not. So what's possible if the dark magician brings that pain and that darkness into the light? That's the change that we're looking for with technology and in the world now, especially during COVID. Everyone needs the mature magician to come forward. What does he do? Finds a guide, finds a coach, finds a godfather, finds a mentor, or like Merlin to King Arthur, he learns about knowledge, the dark side and the good, and the application of knowledge, and where, when, and how to apply his own experiences, his own pain. Right application of knowledge is wisdom, and that's what the world can use. Rituals is one of the ways to do that. We'll talk a little bit more about that in your homework. He brings an awareness, like the Zen master, that there is a transcendent reality, that there is a cosmic narrative, there is a transcendent mystery that we don't know. This transcendent mystery has been driving things for centuries. The magician knows that, and he knows his bullshit is not the best bullshit on the planet. He knows that he will die, and he will cease to be making a creative contribution to the planet. He knows his time on this planet will come to an end. He knows that there's a greater reality than this life, and he understands karma. And he's smart enough to not set his own ass up for some badass karma, what's on the other side. He listens, he's aware, and he brings that knowledge forward. How does he do it? Partly through meditation, ritual, yoga, prayer, or some other discipline like martial arts, running, music, lyrics, dancing, singing. There's so many tools available to the magician. They are endless. What he does, at the end of the day, he transforms mostly himself. And he transforms himself in spaces that he's in, physical spaces. And he dives deeper into the divine access. So the homework for bringing forth your magician, to access that magician, is to first look at the dark side and to find out where have you manipulated because you got hurt or screwed around, there was an injustice, and when did you pretend like you didn't know? Just play the dumb card because it's easy to hide out there. Write some things down, do some journaling where you showed up as a innocent, pretend innocent, and where you were really like trying to control shit and not let people find out. That's the first step. The second step is to come forward and see what's it like to be vulnerable and open and transparent with the kind of warrior that defends and protects and serves a higher good than himself, a magician that has a lover behind him that's vulnerable, transparent, tells other people where he's hurt, and gets permission before he manipulates everything. He gets some kind of a social agreement. So the homework's also going to include to look at your rituals, brushing your teeth, taking a crap, dressing, to be present, to making some kind of magic out of the day-to-day, getting in your car, turning the key, going to the bus stop, getting on your motorbike, and being conscious of those rituals. And I promise you that as you become a lot more hyper attentive to your atmosphere and begin to flow in it, a certain gift of your magician will come forward, especially if you're watching the two dark sides and leaning into somebody that is out there serving and using their magician energy for the higher good of all people and others. Good luck in your homework.